What up, you guys? It's Brandon again. Here doing a little additional video to pile on some more information about the Baltimore accent. I did a Maryland accent tag video just over a month ago on the greater Baltimoreese or Mid-Atlantic accent. So I figured I'd give you guys some additional information because I only had so much time to film that video, so much memory on my phone. So I actually went ahead and wrote all of my points down because this is my third attempt doing this video. I want to get it in a good flow for you guys so I don't feel like I'm all over the place. First, we're going to go over a little history about Baltimore and its influence specifically on its state, Maryland. First is the age-old question that even a lot of Marylanders don't know. Is Maryland a northern or southern state? If you want to draw a technicality, there's this little imaginary line north of Maryland and Pittsburgh called the Mason-Dixon line. If you want to get technical, Maryland is a southern state. We are south of the Mason-Dixon line. However, I grew up for my first 12 and a half years in the South. Anything north of North Carolina is northern to me. However, a lot of Marylanders kind of don't know where to draw the line either. Specifically, when you ask someone on the Maryland mainland, what region are they from? Are they northern or southern? A lot of them will say they're northern because the Maryland mainland is much more industrialized. There's a lot more economic business and urban centers. On the Eastern Shore, a lot more of the business and commerce is based in agriculture. So if you ask someone from the Eastern Shore, hey, what region are you from? They'll probably say Southern. It's a lot more, there's a lot more evident Southern hospitality on the Eastern Shore. The only real urban centers on the Eastern Shore are places that have sprouted up around colleges like Salisbury, great college. And then there's Ocean City, the standard vacation spot for all Marylanders. If you lived in Maryland for any amount of your life, you've taken at least one summer vacation to Ocean City. Another little history element that I wanted to go over, which I only found this out recently, like within the last couple of months. But if anyone who's watching this watches NFL football, as all Americans, good American-loving Americans tend to, there's a very storied rivalry between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, what I didn't realize is that this rivalry goes kind of beyond the football game, or at least the rivalry helps accentuate the rivalry within the realm of football. What I mean is, in the early 1900s, there was a big boom in the steel industry. And at the time, Pittsburgh was a much bigger base for the steel industry than Baltimore was, but at some point, a lot of the steel companies packed up shop and moved to Baltimore, and the workers went with them. So at that point, it becomes an issue of, you got to go where the money is, but you're betraying your town, but you got to go where the money is so you can feed your family. So, there's a big kind of understated rivalry between the two cities in regards to that, because there's been a lot of commerce competition between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and that kind of translates to the sports realm. I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, because Bethlehem Steel was pretty big in Baltimore, and they only closed up shop a couple of years ago. That gave the city a big hit to think about. But there's a lot of history there. So if you want to look up some more information, by all means, hunt it out. It's great stuff to learn about. Now I'm going to digress back to the accent. And kind of segueing from the history or the cultural element, it's weird in Maryland because a lot of people in Maryland do what not a lot of other states do, or at least in any other state I've been in, I haven't seen this. But Marylanders refer to themselves by what county they're from. So if you go to New York and you ask someone, hey, where are you from? They'll probably, if we're talking about New York City, they will specify a borough. Like, I'm from Brooklyn, or I'm from the Bronx. Or if they're from out of the city, they'll say, yeah, I'm from Buffalo, or I'm from Poughkeepsie, something like along those lines. In Maryland, we refer to ourselves by what county we're from. So if someone were to come up and ask me where I am from, I would most likely go, I'm from Harford County, Maryland. Because I really don't know why, to be perfectly honest. That's just something I noticed since moving up here from Texas. In Texas, people refer to their town centers where they're from as well, because where I lived in Plano was just a big suburban sprawl of Dallas, and it was kind of its own little city in its own right. It had its own independent school system. So I'd just say, hey, I'm from Plano, because people knew where the hell Plano was. In Maryland, not so much. And I don't know why. I can't adequately explain it, but I like it. It's something different. So and you can tell when someone's a Marylander because they will refer to themselves by the county that they're from. It's how I met a lot of people in college. I went to Towson University, where surprisingly enough, when I went, only 40% of the student population was from Maryland. Everyone else was from New York and New Jersey. So you would, sorry, held in a burp there. But you'd have to explain to people, yeah, there are no boroughs here. We refer to ourselves by what county we're from. And so you got to remember all the different counties and where they are. Not really, because who gives a shit about Queen Anne's County? Sorry, Queen Anne's County viewers. Another interesting parts of the Maryland accent. We're the only city in the Union where you'll actually hear the word radiator used instead of radiator. Can't tell you why. It's there. It's an anomaly. We all got to deal with it. So that's something I heard a lot with my old landscaping boss, because he, like all his other landscaping buddies or co-workers, is a gearhead. So when they start talking about cars, all of a sudden they say radiator. And that one kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. What's another one? This also reminds me of my old landscaping boss. Everyone knows the exclamation, "Geez Louise." Well, in certain parts of Baltimore, you'll hear "Geez Louise." Where the E goes, I don't know. It's still on the end of Louise. I think that's how you spell it. Most people in America will say "Geez Louise." Some sections of Baltimore say "Geez Louise." That tends to be an Essex, Dundalk, and Greektown thing. I think that's where my old landscaping boss's family is from. What's another one? Okay, here's one. This phrase has a long history of use in the state of Maryland because every Maryland family has taken that one summer trip to to Ocean City. So if you ever hear a Marylander say we're going down the ocean, it means they're going down to the ocean. It means they're going to Ocean City. The TH in the completely disappears, and so does to. So we're going down to the ocean becomes we're going down the ocean. Just means they're going to Ocean City. Doesn't mean anything. Well, actually, it might mean something bad's about to happen because there's a lot of good bars in Ocean City. But, and there's my battery warning going off. Shut up, battery. And something that I realized I do a lot. This will be the last bit I cover. With a general Maryland accent, the word "the" gets twisted and turned around and just a little blurb that it wasn't meant to be. Let me give you some explanation. The word "the" gets slurred into so many different words in a Maryland accent that you don't even realize it's there sometimes. You'll realize it was said, but you won't acknowledge the fact that it was just said. Like any accent. I just did it. Like any accent, there's no more "the." It becomes any accent. IN-E accent. So now I'm screwing myself up. But in the accent I'm talking in, it's just one of those things. Everyone's got a phrase or word that they slur. Baltimoreans slur the word "the," which is also the originator of the phrase "down the ocean." So you got two examples of that to back it up. That could also translate to phrases like "I'm on a phone" or "I'm in a car fixing the radio" or something, or I'm in a bathroom fixing the pipes. The word "the" is kind of downgraded to a lesser word, and is just kind of a really slurred syllable when it comes to Baltimoreans' accents. We have really not done the word "the" justice. In fact, we have butchered it. So hopefully that gives you a little expounded understanding of the Baltimore accent. Now, since I've got some free time on my hands, I'm just got out of the Navy looking for gainful employment. But in my spare time, if you guys are enjoying these videos and you like learning about accents and you want to maybe learn a little bit more, or just, see me do some embarrassing shit and try to learn a new accent, post something in the thread down below the video. And if it's a specific accent or an impersonation, I like to think they're my specialty. Any of you that know me know that I come from a theater background, and I like to. I'm gonna try to find some along those veins to do in the creative sense. So if I can accomplish any of that for any of you out in the World Wide Web, then please feel free to suggest. Hope you guys are having a good holiday season, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.